From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
I'm Movin Hettiarachi, and here are today's headlines.
The President introduces a special plan to bring about a speedy transformation in the education sector. Continuous relief measures underway on behalf of families affected by the inclement weather conditions. Cabinet approval received for the National Policy Framework on the prosperous vision to build the country. The post of opposition leader to be given to parliamentarian Sajid Premadasa. A special inquiry to be conducted on the construction of the rail track from Beliatta to Hambantota. Sri Lanka wins 9 gold medals today at the South Asian Games.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has focused his attention on a number of speedy changes to be effected across several areas in the education sector. These include the enrollment of students to universities as soon as A-level results are released, the recruitment of unemployed graduates upon training being provided, to guarantee higher education opportunities to all students who have passed their A-levels, and giving priority to the subject of information and communication technology. The President expressed his views in this regard during a discussion held with the ministers and officials of the Ministries of Education and Higher Education. The President stated the country should head towards an education system that can bring about a skilled student population for the present-day technology-based world economy. Attention was focused on moving away from the exam-oriented education system to lift the unbearable weight borne by the students. The importance of focusing attention on international-level syllabi and how such curriculum is prepared were discussed. Decisions taken in the education sector should be free from politicization. The President stated unemployed graduates should be trained to fill vacancies arising in organizations. The President further stated attention needs to be given to speedily enroll to universities the students who have succeeded in their GCE advanced level examination in 2018. He added, with effect from 2019, university admissions should be done with a short period of time. Attention was also given to provide all students who succeed at their A-level examination to be able to enter universities. Diploma study courses will be introduced within the university system to create a labor force that meets with the short-term requirements of the country. The President pointed out teacher training colleges and hotel schools need to be initiated targeting the job market. The President also pointed out the need to absorb the particular university into the state university network and utilize it as a national resource without letting it get destroyed. He further stated that time is right to entrust the task of introducing courses that meet with the country's requirement with the universities. He noted, for this purpose, the university system needs to be encouraged. It was also discussed to open universities to cover all districts, including Galle, Matara and Hambantota districts. The President said the capacity to reconstruct unutilized buildings situated in large plots of land needs to be considered for this purpose. The President also stated most students studying in the maths and science streams need to be encouraged, while students of the arts stream need to be directed to information and communication technology. The President also stated the opportunity needs to be created for students who migrate abroad for their higher studies to be able to pursue their higher studies in the country itself. It was also discussed to prepare a national policy for the education sector within 1 year. The discussion was attended by Ministers Dallas Alaha Peruma and Bandula Gunawardena, State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya and a number of public officials.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa met with the ambassadors representing the Middle East Sri Lankan Ambassadors Forum at the Temple Trees this evening. The ambassadors stated that they intend to extend their cooperation to Sri Lanka in future on economic and cultural affairs and assured the support of Middle Eastern countries to the new government. Ambassadors representing Oman, Palestine, Iraq, Egypt, Kuwait, Libya, Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates joined in the meeting. Foreign Ministers Professor G.L. Pires, Prime Ministerial Secretary, Gamini Senarath and senior advisor to the Prime Minister, Ajit Niwad Cabral, were also present.
The Disaster Management Centre states continuous steps are being taken to grant relief to those adversely affected by the inclement weather. Meanwhile, the warnings issued by the National Building Research Organisation on the Badulla, Kandy, Nuwara and Ratnapura districts are still in force. Landslide red warnings have been issued to the Ududumbara area of the Kandy district and the Valapane area of the Nuwara district. The water level of a number of reservoirs have risen due to the heavy rains. Therefore, the engineers overseeing certain reservoirs have taken steps to open the spill gates to release the surplus water. The Department of Irrigation advises those residing in low-lying areas to be vigilant. 16 spill gates of Rajanganaya Reservoir and the 2 spill gates of the Angamo Reservoir have been opened, whilst the spill gates of the Tissavava, Abhayavava, the Mahavilachia are being opened. The spill gates of the Nachadua and Yan Oya tanks were also opened. 4 spill gates each of the Inginimitia and Tabova tanks have been opened, whilst 2 spill gates each of the Kimbulvana Oya, Ambakolababa and Dedru Oya tanks in the Kurunegala district were opened. The Batikla tank also had its spill gates opened, whilst in Hambantota district the spill gates of the Lunagam Vehera, Murutavela, Veheragala and Mavuara tanks were also opened. The spill gates were also opened in the Munaragala Alikota Ara tank and the Matale Vemadilla and Nalanda tanks. The Badula Passara road continues to be closed to vehicular traffic due to the potential landslide risk. The police have taken steps to deploy vehicles along alternative routes for the convenience of the public. Railway operations of the upcountry line were obstructed due to a mound of sand which collapsed in the Allahena area between Diatalava and Bandaravala. Thereby, trains commuting from Colombo Fort have been restricted up to Diatalava. Buses were deployed for passengers who arrived in the Denuara Manike and Podimanike trains to reach the Bandaravala railway station. The railway authorities state a few days will be needed to reconstruct the damaged rail tracks. Over 7,700 persons belonging to 2,651 families have been adversely affected in the particular district due to the inclement weather. A group of affected have been retained at temporary shelters.
More than 100 millimeters rain being observed, reported in especially in the northern province and the eastern province and some areas of the north central as well. So the NBRO that they have extended the warning over the possibility of landslide and rockfall and so on. Ratnapura, Nuwara, Badul and Kandy, red alerts being given to the Kandy especially and the Nuwara as well. People still to be very vigilant with the signs of the landslide. So if any signs of the landslides been observed, they need to move from these locations. So 11 houses been completely damaged and 358 houses partial damage. They have been funded and the assessments are going on. Initial funds been released. The water levels of the rivers being some areas of null, but as the opening of the Yan Oya spill gate, so Horopatan area been notified as alert level. We are thoroughly advising not to utilize these water as the strong currents are available in this particular waters.
3 police officers who were on duty at a police checkpoint in the Anuradhapura Sacred City were hospitalized after sustaining injuries when a tree fell onto the checkpoint last night. A 3-wheeler parked nearby sustained serious damages as a result of the fallen tree. Due to the inclement weather affecting the Ampara district, the Chavalakade Kitangi road has gone underwater. After it was revealed over the media that the parapet wall of the Kagor remand prison has eroded, steps have been taken to transfer the inmates to other prisons. Meanwhile, the Met Department forecasts the prevailing showery condition to further enhance over the northern, north central, eastern, Uva and central provinces.
The Cabinet of Ministers has decided to acknowledge the prosperous vision to build the country as a national policy framework. Minister Bandula Gunawardena announced this move at a media briefing held today at the Cabinet decisions. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal put forward by Minister of Economic and Policy Development Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Thereby, the plan put forward by the President will be launched under a 10-point approach with the objective of attaining the 4-point objectives, which are a productive citizen, a happy family, a virtuous and disciplined society and a prosperous nation. The 10-point which will be incorporated in the policy framework are foremost priority to national security, a friendly and non-aligned foreign policy, a clean state administration, constitutional amendments that are accountable to the public, a productive citizen, a fertile human resource, a people-centric economy, a society based on technology, the development of physical resources, sustainable environmental management, and a disciplined, law-abiding and virtuous society. Thereby, the policy statement focusing on achieving macroeconomic targets during the period from 2020 to 2025 will be prepared as a national economic policy. Thereby, the objectives are to increase the economic growth to above 6.5%, to achieve a per capita income exceeding $6,500, to bring down the unemployment rate to 4%, to bring down the inflation rate to 5%, and to restrict the budget deficit below 4%. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said the President and the Cabinet of Ministers gave their full approval to the concise plan put forward by the Prime Minister on national policy framework to the government to a prosperous vision to build the country. He detailed the relevant policy framework has been put forward to create a country in which the state sector, the private sector, and the cooperative sector function so the economic targets can be achieved. The minister further stated the benefits of the reduced VAT will be enjoyed upon the people in the next few days. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said the VAT that was reduced to 8% is in force effect from 1st of this month. He assured the legality required is guaranteed in full and there needs to be no doubt. He further stated the reduction of the VAT prices of the goods and services need to decrease. However, it will not happen in an instant. He added the Consumer Affairs Authority and the Ministry of Internal Trade have been instructed to conduct relevant inquiries to make sure the customer receives the fair benefits of the reduction of the VAT.
ක්‍රම දෙකයිනේ තියෙන එකක් රට ඇතුළට එන විදේශ විනිමය ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි කරන්න ඕනේ රටින් පිටට ගලාගෙන යන විදේශ විනිමය ප්‍රමාණය අඩු කරන්න ඕනේ සුවජාතිකයෝ වෙනත් රටවල ගිහිල්ලා කර්මාන්ත ව්‍යාපාර හෝ වෙනත් වෘත්තීය සේවාවක් සපයලා එවන මුදල් සියලුම බදු වර්ගවලින් නිදහස් කරලා තියෙනවා ඒ වගේම තොරතුරු තාක්ෂණික ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ මුදුරුකාංග වගේ දේවල් විදේශ වලට සපයනවා නම් සියලු බදු නිදහස් කරලා තියෙනවා රටින් පිටට අයථා ලෙස මුදල් ගලා යාම වැළැක්වීම සඳහා දැන් ගම්බිරිස් ප්‍රති අපනයනය සඳහා ගෙනීම වහාම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන පරිදි තහනම් කළා කුරුඳු තහනම් කළා. ඒයින් පස්සේ රට තුල ගම්බිරිස් මිල වැඩි වෙලා කුරුඳු මිල වැඩි වෙලා මේ ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගැනීම තුලින් අපිට මේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය ජනතා සහභාගීත්වය ඇතුව කරන මේ වෙනස්කම් සාර්ථක ලෙස ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණොත් නිසක වශයෙන්ම රුපියල කඩා වැටෙන තත්ත්වයේ වළක්වලා අපිට මුදලේ අගය ස්ථාවර කරලා ජීවන වියදමේ ප්‍රශ්නය විසඳන්න පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙනවා.
අමතක නිල ඇඳුම සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඊයේ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයේදී සාකච්ඡා වුණාද ඒ වවුචර්
State Minister Ramesh Patrina said the vouchers will be provided for purchase of school uniform materials. In addition, as feedback has been received that the voucher amount is not sufficient for A-level students, a proposal has been approved to increase the voucher value for these students.
The United National Party today decided to appoint parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa for the post of opposition leader. This decision was taken at the UNP parliamentary group meeting held at Sirikota under the patronage of leader of the UNP, Ranil Wickremesinghe, today. The UNP parliamentary group convened today to take a decision on the opposition leader's post. At the meeting, leader of the UNP, Ranil Wickremesinghe, proposed the name of parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa for the post of opposition leader. The proposal received unanimous consent of the parliamentary group. Thereby, it is scheduled to be approved at the next working committee meeting. An agreement was reached to provide a solution to the leadership quest of the UNP within a week. Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, expressing his views, observed many opinions were voiced alleging that at the last presidential election, the party acted in a divided manner and hindered victory. However, he notes such statements are untrue since all party members faced the election as united foes. The former Prime Minister noted the reasons for the defeat need to be analysed. Meanwhile, attention was focused on 4 surveys that were released just a few days before the presidential election, which predicted that the candidate fielded by the United National Party is in second place. He emphasised from January onwards all party members should join hands and function as a strong opposition.
එකට වෙලා එකමුතුව කොහොමද අපි ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩ පිළිවෙල ඒ ගැන කතා කිරීමට මතකදී
අද ගන්න ඕන හරිම දේ ගත්තා. පක්ෂයේ හැටියට ජනතාවගේ ඉල්ලීම අපි ඉදිරියට ඉෂ්ට කරනවා. බය නැතු ඉන්න. ඒ උනරනේ කඩුව දිහා කොපුව දෙනවා. නෑ එහෙම දෙයක් නෑ. කඩුවයි කොපුවයි දෙකම තියෙනවා. ඔක්කොම අතේ තියෙනවා.
ඇතිවම එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ඉතාමත් සාමකාමීව එකමුතුවෙන් අපි ඊළඟ මහමැතිවරණයට මුහුණ දෙනවා.
ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම ඉතාම සාමකාමීව අප රැස්වීම අහවර කරන්න හම්බ වුණා. ගරු නායකතුමා සියලුම දෙනා ඉස්සරහට පොරොන්දු වුණා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්මයාට විපක්ෂ නායක ධූරේ දෙන්නේ තුමාගේ පූර්ණ කැමැත්ත තියෙනවා කියලා.
මේ දෙසැම්බර් මාසයට කලින් ඉතිරි කොටසේ වැඩ කටයුතු පිළිබඳවත් තීරණයක් ගන්නට පොරොන්දු වුණා. 150ක් සාර්ථකයි. ඉතින් 150 මේ මාසය තුළ විසඳෙනවා.
තව සතියක් දෙකක් ඇතුළත පක්ෂයේ නායකත්වයත් වෙනස් කිරීම සඳහා කෘතිකාර්යධිකාරී මණ්ඩලය කැඳවලා ඒ පිළිබඳව සාකච්ඡා කරලා එයත් වෙනස් කරන්න විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ මාසය තුළ පක්ෂ නායකත්වයත් ඒ වගේම මේ විදිහටම වෙනස් වෙයි. මම හිතන්නේ මේ විපක්ෂ නායක ධුරය ලැබුණා වගේම.
මම කියන්න කැමති එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ කිසිම බෙදීමකින් තොරව ඒකමතිකව මේ තීරණය ගත්තේ. ඒ වගේම අපි තීරණය කරා පක්ෂය ඇතුලේ ප්‍රතිසංවිධානයකුත් කරන්න.
සියලු දෙනාටම නායකතුමාමයි කතා කරලා එතුමා විපක්ෂ නායකතුමා වශයෙන් පත් කරන්න එතුමා යෝජනා කරනවා කියලා සියලු දෙනාම එකඟ වුණා.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the UNP, Akhila Viraj Karyavasan, forwarded a letter to Speaker Karu Jayasuriya this evening calling on the appointment of parliamentarian Sajid Premadasa as the opposition leader. Former Minister Sajid Premadasa, who was elected to Parliament for the first time in the year 2000, has functioned throughout as a parliamentarian. He is the son of the late former President Ranasinghe Premadasa. MP Sajid Premadasa held the post of Deputy Health Minister in the government from 2001 to 2004 and has been the subject minister of Housing and Construction on many occasions. Over the past few years, he also functioned as a deputy leader of the United National Party. Contesting under the New Democratic Front, he was the presidential candidate fielded by the United National Front at the presidential election.
The courts have granted permission for the suspect taken into custody in connection with the allegations pertaining to a plan to assassinate President Gotabaya Rajapaksa or one of his family members to be detained until the 16th of this month for questioning. The Minuangoda Magistrate Court today granted permission for the suspect to be detained by the CID for interrogation. The suspect, who was arrested by the Karnataka police, was handed over to CID yesterday. Preliminary investigations have revealed that the suspect by the name of Hakim Muhammad Rifkan had planned for the conspiracy.
108 motorcycles assembled in China and many other equipment were presented to the officials of the Environmental Division of the Sri Lanka Police at the Police Park grounds this morning. The Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Sheng Su Seng, was the chief guest. The motorcycles and the equipment have been donated under aid worth $75 million and includes security cameras and computers. The equipment granted were accepted by Minister Chamal Rajapaksa and Defence Secretary Kamal Gunaratne.
Subject Minister Mahinda Amaravira says he is not satisfied with the construction work of the second stage of the Mathura-Katharagama railway line, which is stretching from Beliatta to Hambantota. At a discussion held yesterday, he instructed the relevant officials to speedily construct the technical inquiry and submit the report to him. Construction work of the Mathura-Katharagama railway line commenced upon a pledge given by the manifesto, The Future Vision of Mahinda Chintanaya. The length of the railway track is 115 kilometers. The stretch from Mathura to Beliatta was opened to the public a few months ago. However, the overall plan was to complete the Mathura to Katharagama railway line by the end of 2016. The residents pointed out, so far the steps have not been taken to construct the railway track beyond Beliatta. They have further complained they had to face many difficulties in the reclamation of land and in obtaining compensation. As a result of such complaints received from the public, a special discussion was held at the Ministry of Transport chaired by Minister Mahinda Amaravira yesterday. The minister instructed the officials to speed up steps to carry forward the construction work of the project, and the minister added the president has also given instructions to him in this regard.
Sri Lanka and the Maldives will jointly act on behalf of creating a free and open Indian Ocean region. This objective was emphasized during a meeting held between President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the Maldivian Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid, who is on an official tour in Sri Lanka. Foreign Minister of the Maldives, Abdullah Shahid, arrived in country last night on a 3-day official tour. He was welcomed at the Katanayak International Airport by the Director General of the SAARC region, Anuri Rana Raja. A discussion between the visiting Maldivian Foreign Minister and President Gotabaya Rajapaksa took place at the Presidential Secretariat this afternoon. At the discussions, bilateral relations were given focus in responding to a query put forward by the President. The visiting Maldivian Foreign Minister said his country is now at a political stable level. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa stated a continuous bilateral relations network needs to be in place to control the drug menace and to prevent youth from becoming radicalized. The President also said Sri Lanka is open to not only China but also to countries such as Japan, Australia, Singapore, South Korea for investments. Maldivian Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Omar Abdul Razak, was also present. A discussion between Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and the visiting Foreign Minister of the Maldives took place at the Temple Trees this morning. Professor G.L. Pires, Prime Ministerial Secretary, Gamini Senarath and Senior Advisor to the Premier Ajit Niwad Cabral were present. The meeting between the visiting Maldivian Foreign Minister and his Sri Lankan counterpart Dinesh Gunawardena took place at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today. The official round of bilateral discussions took place. As part of his official tour, the visiting Foreign Minister of the Maldives took part in a special interview organized by the national television.
Message I'm carrying from His Excellency President Saleh and the people of Maldives to the new leadership here in Sri Lanka is one of congratulations, good wishes and of solidarity. Sri Lanka is always special to us. Investment between the two countries is also of critical nature. We have many of your large prestigious companies already invested in Maldivian tourism industry. We welcome Sri Lankan investors.
King Abdullah II of Hashamite Kingdom of Jordan and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani have extended their congratulations to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. King Abdullah II stated that Jordan intends to congratulate the bilateral relations with Sri Lanka by enhancing the ties of friendship and cooperation for the benefit of the people of the both countries. The Iranian president stated his intention is to enhance the friendship between two countries in many fields under the new Sri Lankan president.
In the meantime, the 92nd anniversary of the Thai National Day and the commemoration of the birth anniversary of the late King Umibor Adulyadesh was marked today. Whilst most nations hold their National Day celebrations to coincide with the day they gained independence from the colonies, Thailand has a different story altogether. The Thailand National Day is celebrated on the 5th of December as it is the birth anniversary of the late King Umibor Adulyadesh. Minister Pavitra Wanyarachi and the Ambassador of Thailand to Sri Lanka, Shulamani Chatsuan, Speaker Karujaya Surya, and Secretary to the Foreign Ministry, Ravinatha Aryasinghe, attended the Thai National Day celebrations that were held at the Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo.
Since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1955, our two countries have worked closely to deepen and broaden bilateral ties based on mutual respect and friendship. Under the new government, Sri Lanka's unity, security and sovereignty will be protected and the aspiration of all citizens will be upheld. The new administration looks forward towards further strengthening Sri Lanka's relations with all countries in a spirit of constructive engagement and mutually beneficial cooperation. Bilateral cooperations between Sri Lanka and Thailand are multifaceted. In line with the economic policy of the new government, Sri Lanka offers conducive, safe and stable environment to attract investment. This is an appropriate time for Thai entrepreneurs to look upon Sri Lanka as an attractive business and investment destination.
Thailand and Sri Lanka are on a firm ground to move ahead together for mutual benefit based on our strong historical bond lasting almost a millennium, people-to-people goodwill and affinity, that has grown beautifully out of such bond. In this regard, Thailand congratulates the new government and stands ready to work closely with Sri Lanka to further strengthen the existing excellent relations. I am pleased to put on record that Sri Lanka is already top 3 countries that we have development cooperation.
Several state ministers assumed their duties at their ministries today. State Minister of Human Rights and Constitutional Reforms, Mohan Priyadarshana De Silva, assumed duties at the Ministry of Justice today. State Minister of Youth Affairs, Duminda Disanayake, assumed duties at his ministry. Ministers Dayasri Jayasekara, Mahinda Amaravira and Dallas Allah Peruma were present at the occasion with a number of invitees. Meanwhile, Professor Tissa Vitarana assumed duties as the new governor of the North Central Province at the Governor's office in Anuradhapura.
The government has taken a policy decision for the entire teaching staff of the country to be degree holders. Thereby, cabinet approval is being received to transform national colleges of education into university faculties in order to facilitate the opportunity for teachers to be able to obtain degree qualifications. The proposal was put forward by Minister of Education Dallas Allah Peruma with the objective of upgrading the professional skills of the teachers under the proposal given in the manifesto of a prosperous vision titled A Wise Citizen, a Knowledge-Filled Society. An expert committee is to be appointed to facilitate the educational and legal aspects to implement this program across the education and higher education fields. The government is taking steps to launch a program speedily under the title the PV Tirulanka National Environmental Management Program. The proposal in this regard was put forward by the Minister of Environment and Wildlife Resources, M. Chandrasena. Under this initiative, the establishment of centres for the segregation of waste, providing waste burners for selected local government bodies, upgrading compost sites and establishing new compost producing sites, and raising awareness on environmental conservation will be carried out.
The final rites of the late Ratnapura district parliamentarian Randi D'Souza will take place at the Godakvela public grounds at 2 p.m. on Sunday. The remains of the late parliamentarian, which were brought to the country last night, were laid to the public to pay their last respects at the premises of the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Council in Ratnapura in Newtown till this afternoon. The remains currently lie at the late MP's residence at Masimbula in Godakvela. Now for sports news, Sri Lanka secured 9 more gold medals in the South Asian Games underway in Kathmandu in Nepal. Thereby the total number of gold medals won by Sri Lanka is now 17. The Sri Lankan athletes secured gold in both the 400-meter men's and women's athletic events. Aruna Darshana won the 400 meters men's event. The 400 meters women's event was won by Dilshi Kumarasinghe. Sri Lanka bagged the gold and silver medals in the women's triple jump events. Harshini Paboda secured the gold. The gold medal of the 100 meters hurdle event was won by Lakshika Sugandhi.
Come on!
The weightlifting event of the Games commenced today, and the Dilanka Isuru Kumara, completing in the 55 kilogram weight category, secured gold. Sri Lanka also secured 3 gold medals in swimming events. Matthew Abesinghe secured 2 golds in the 100 meters butterfly stroke and the 200 meters free stroke of the events. Meanwhile, the gold medal for the 100 meters free stroke relay event was also won by the Sri Lankan team, represented by Matthew Abesinghe, Akalanka Piris, Ravindra Nugavela and Stefan Pereira. That's it for tonight's English News broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Pleasant night.